Howdy, my name is Sabrina Morse. I'm 28 years old. I'm going to be the next sole survivor. I'm out here in the beautiful Maroon Bells Wilderness, finishing up a 20-mile hike to go visit Conundrum Hot Springs, tallest hot springs in North America. I've kind of always had a thirst for adventure, the outdoors, and pushing my limits. My parents raised me on backpacking and camping trips, my mom being the planner extraordinaire. From Monument Valley to my favorite trip, backpacking through Olympic National Park, sea kayaking through the San Juan Islands, we've always just embraced nature and adventure. It all started with my mom, who actually applied for Survivor at a mall casting in Arizona, probably like early 2000s. She only made it to the second round, and then unfortunately, shortly after that, she got her first diagnosis of cancer, breast and skin. It was bad, but she recovered, and we continued with life. Through all of the camping trips and hiking trips, my parents taught me to be both physically and mentally tough. Through school, they pushed me to always do my best, continuing to do it and pushing myself, taking AP classes, doing all the sports that I can. Growing up, I did Russian ballet and was in the Nutcracker, which was incredible. And then eventually when I was in high school, I switched it up and did swimming year-round. Breaststroke was my stroke, of course, and absolutely loved that. Swam in the state meet. And then when I went to college, switched it up again and was one of the founding members of our rowing crew team, where we went to Georgia for nationals. Around my second year of school, my mom got sick again. Triple negative breast cancer. Not good. Around that time, I realized life is fleeting and business school was sucking my soul out. So I decided to follow my passion of art and start working at a tattoo shop. That unfortunately did not prove to be what I hoped it to be. And eventually I started dancing at a gentleman's club, which I ended up loving because I've always had a secret desire to be in the circus and to really love doing crazy pole tricks. So got to live out my fantasy of almost being a circus performer. After doing that for some years, it turned out to be a great job because not only did I get to have some fun, but it also allowed me to go back home a lot and be there for my mom through the good times and the bad times, through the surgeries, the double mastectomy, and any good days that she could possibly have. Being there with my dad and my brother, we tried to be a family as much as we could. After a long fight, I was able to go back and be with my mom for the last 2-3 weeks of her life while she was in hospice in the home, being around her two favorite things, her dogs and her family. Of course, all while she was doing this, going through all the surgeries, the chemo, she was still being the most incredible teacher that she could possibly be. She had a passion for U.S. history and was an AP U.S. history teacher, winning Teacher of the Year. Her love and desire to teach kids U.S. history never wavered. Literally the last 2 weeks while she was in hospice, she's still making video lessons and was hiking about 3 weeks before she passed. So I definitely got a little badass from my mom. Definitely got some badass from my dad too. On Pi Day, right before COVID, my mom passed. She was trying to die on Friday the 13th, but Pi Day is still pretty cool. Shortly after that, the lockdowns happened. With that, I lost my job. I was out of a job, feeling pretty broken and feeling lost. It was then that another career change happened. I ended up switching it up and getting a job working at a dispensary/grow. I was now getting to work around all of these plants and helping marijuana plants grow, which was one of the medicines that actually helped my mom through the final days. So I got a little bit of happiness, a little bit of purpose back into my life. Doing that, trying to find a little bit of normalcy back into my life, that couldn't last for long because shortly after, my dad got diagnosed with colon cancer. It was not good. We had high hopes though that it wasn't going to take him so soon. Less than a year later, on Valentine's Day, my birthday, my dad passed. now an orphan and feeling even more lost, I try to go back to Denver and figure my life out again. Working in the dispensary, trying to work with my plants and finding some happiness with growing things and experiencing life. Working on my art as much as I could to find some inspiration. Life had been very, very hard, to say the least, and finding the joy was not easy. It wasn't a year after that my grandfather also passed of cancer, another cancer, bladder cancer. So mom, dad, grandpa, all in a little over a year of each other, different cancers, and probably the three greatest people in my family, left me feeling a little empty. It's been a slow climb back to try and figure out my life, get things together. But one thing that they all taught me was to keep pushing myself and not let something bad, even like their death, keep me from experiencing life, joy, and having adventures. You know, it's kind of like what you said, Jeff. If you don't keep pushing yourself, trying new things, then what are you doing? You risk getting boring, staying stagnant. And that's definitely something that my mom, dad, and grandpa always encouraged, to keep moving forward, striving for more, achieving more, and seeing what you're capable of, because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna surprise yourself. Kind of like I have been doing on this hike right now. Survivor is my next challenge that I want to take on. It started with my mom, and I want to finish it. Long story short, I'm just an artsy, quirky gal that loves adventure, the outdoors, and is yearning for my next challenge. I'm a Russian ballerina, gone swimmer, gone rower, starting as a lifeguard, going to wedding planning, working at a tattoo shop, being a dancer, being a marijuana plant mama, shop runner, now being a server. I am seeking out my next adventure. While I don't have my parents physically with me, I really do believe that they gave me all the lessons needed, and I'm eager to go on Survivor and take all the things they taught me and put them to the test. I'm ready to be the next sole survivor.